Good afternoon. This is Stephen Hernandez with Stephen Hernandez Nonprofit Fundamentals. And one of the topics that I really want to do more videos on is the specific niche of philanthropy that I'm currently in, which is corporate philanthropy. And it always surprises me when I work with the nonprofit community how little people understand corporate philanthropy and just the other additional ways they can leverage a relationship with a business, with a corporation, small, medium, or large, but especially larger ones, in terms of accessing funding for causes and nonprofits that you support or you're trying to raise money for. So today this will be a great explainer in terms of how you can access additional grant funding beyond a large family foundation, beyond a large private foundation. Spoiler alert, if you are a small new organization of less than 5 years of age and you don't have a large budget, you don't have a staff, you don't have 3 to 5 years of financial records, audited financial records, it's almost a guarantee that you're not going to get funded. Let me tell you a hard truth of fundraising, specifically in the nonprofit community, specifically in the foundation world. The easiest way to get money is to already have it. And by that, I mean that it's so much harder as a new program, as a new organization, as a new person in your field or your cause, and try and get funders to pay attention, to take a risk on the work that you're doing. That's so, so hard. But there are many additional ways to get funding beyond your large local foundations. And I'll do a channel, I'll do a video on community foundations, family foundations, private foundations in the days and weeks to come. Today, I want to specifically talk about the field that I'm in right now, which is corporate philanthropy, corporate giving, corporate social responsibility. It has a variety of names, but it is in many ways easier to acquire funding in both a formal and informal way, and I'm going to discuss both. So in the terms of formally applying for corporate funding, the best way I can explain that is that it's a shorter line, often a shorter turnaround time than family or private foundation funding. Remember, you're applying to the business, you're applying to the corporation, and there is always, and this is super important, there's always a business outcome, PR, or marketing outcome that the organization or business is trying to achieve. And what I find in the nonprofit community, that many people are allergic to that. They're uncomfortable, like, if you will, to use a strong term, like prostituting their work towards what they feel is, like a big bad business or bank or what have you. And I understand that. I can get where people might come that way. But you need that money. To do the work that you want to do, you need that money. The business has a financial business goal. They want to see more products and services of X in a specific community Y. If you can approach them and, for example, say, I'm doing some wonderful work with the Latino population in Southwest Detroit, or I can reach out to the Albanian community in Michigan, or I work in a population in California that reaches to the Filipino or Asian communities, what have you. It doesn't even have to be that specific. But if your work aligns with the business goals of the business or corporation, it's a much easier way to yes. It's a much shorter yes. Corporate giving programs generally can turn around an application within a month or two at the outside, instead of 3, 4, 5, 6 months in terms of like a foundation. The turnaround times are much shorter. They're business people. They gotta make decisions. Also, the people who are reading your applications are not generally foundation professionals. So again, broad strokes here, right? They're generally part of the marketing team or the communications team, or maybe a high-level executive who's deciding on your application. What that means is your audience is different. The things they're going to read for and look for are not some, again, broad strokes here, no disrespect to any grant writers, like I was myself. They're not going to be interested in highfalutin language, excessive footnotes and research. That's not what they're looking for. What they're looking for is, my program can do X. You also are looking to do X in this specific location and this specific time, under this specific budget. That's what they're going to look for. So, for example, if you're writing a grant to a financial institution, and this particular institution is interested in reaching low to moderate income persons, and your organization reaches that audience, and you have an authentic partnership with them, and ideally you can get closer to their specific business goals. So these people are low to moderate income, and you do financial literacy, you do entrepreneurship work, something that's aligned with the work of the business. The closer you can get to what they do, you're speaking their language. It's an easier sell for them. It's easier for them to understand what you're trying to do, and it's easier for them to fund you. And so I strongly encourage you to look at the big businesses, the small and medium businesses that are in your area. And by that I mean very specifically. So for example, if you work on a certain side of a certain large city, and a business that you are looking to get funding for also works there, or has opening a branch or opening a new department there, that's something you should look into. In addition, the application process is usually much less onerous. It's there's probably an application to fill out, probably will be online. It's not as hard or as cumbersome as working from a foundation. So that's another benefit of applying to businesses or corporations. What I also wanted to address is that you have to find an internal champion. And I think I'll do a whole other video in terms of internal champions. But I just want to close with this, that businesses are always looking to find people inside who can vouch for an organization. Yes, organization ABC, they do good work. Yep, we supported this event, on the west side. It was wonderful. A lot of people came out. We got a lot of signage out there. We signed up a lot of new customers. We were positioned very well, as a sponsor. Those are the things that organizations are going to look for. So it behooves you to find someone in the business, in the corporation, in the bank, in the firm, to serve on your board, to meet with you, to learn about your work. Because if you have someone internally, believe me, this is how it works. I mean, this is my job every day. You're going to get an application in for a new organization, and whoever the decision maker will generally ask around, did someone send this? Like, did we know someone, who's done any work with this organization? How was it? Well, what were the outcomes? What are the business outcomes? That's what they're going to want to know. And if you have someone inside who can champion your organization, it's much more likely that you will get funded. And again, many of these relationships kind of sort of run on inertia. So once you're in, you're kind of in. And, unless, budgets really change or like the event doesn't go well or whatnot, it's generally not a guarantee, but it's pretty likely that you'll get funded again, especially if you do that kind of stewardship to work on that relationship. So again, very broad strokes in terms of things to consider in terms of funding, in terms of corporate grant making, corporate social responsibility, how to build a internal champion. A lot of different directions we could go with this. There are so many other ways you can draw down funds from corporate partners, and I'll do another kind of like top 5, top 4 video about that. Questions that you have, again, that's a lot of material. If you have questions about like how to write a specific grant, what are the buzzwords, what are the things that people are going to be interested in, please let me know in the comments. I love your questions, be happy to address them, and let me know what other kind of topics with regards to fund development, grant writing, or just development in general are of interest to you. Thank you again. This is Stephen Hernandez for Nonprofit Fundamentals. If this was of interest to you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Set notifications on. I'm going to do my best to record more videos on a more regular basis. And as always, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. Thank you so much and take care.